Okay, clock up there says 5:30. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have the consent agenda. Does anybody have anything they want removed from the consent agenda? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? Well,
No, we just need to move on.
Not yet. We just want to leave it.
Yeah, we just leave it till the end.
And we'll move on to special activities to administer the oath of office to Russell. Russell, if you would, please. If you would, raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, and state your name.
I, Russell Carolus,
Do solemnly swear I will support the Constitution of the United States
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of
and
Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties as fiscal officer
the duties as fiscal officer
for Clear Creek Township, Warren County, State of Ohio,
for Clear Creek County, Warren County, State of Ohio,
to which office I have been appointed
to which office I have been appointed,
according to the law and the best of my ability
according to the law and to the best of my ability,
during my continuance in office.
during my continuance in office.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. That's it.
Good to see you.
Have a good night.
Be well, you too.
Did we get the backroom crew?
All right, good.
Put
the beers down, get back in here.
Yeah, they just stopped out. They're still doing
Good for them.
All right.
Good for them. Yep. Okay, we also have resolution under our special activities. We have resolution 5215, continuance of public hearing to consider text amendment 2019-2. This is a public hearing that we tabled. So at this time, I'd like to consider a motion to recess the regular meeting and open the public hearing.
So moved. Second?
Mr. Mustal.
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard.
Yay.
Mr. Wade.
Yeah. Mr. Palmer, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well, gentlemen. What you have before you this evening is what was discussed on March the 9th, with the exception of the red, which is on item number 13, which is talking about delivery of products, supplies, and materials. I took the direction of look at surrounding jurisdictions and see what they have. I'm not sure where you guys want to go, but I have provided information from Beaver Creek Township, Blue Ash, Dayton, Deerfield Township, Hamilton Township, Mason, Silverton, Springboro, and the Warren County Rural Zoning Code as options for consideration. Knowing that this was a text amendment that had several different ideas that were flowing through it and different beliefs of what we would or would not do with it. Wasn't sure if this was enough to go on this evening, and you would have direction, or if it was something that you wanted to have further consideration and push this to the next 5:30 meeting.
Well, I'm having trouble finding it in the
Okay.
book. That's my thing.
Under special activities up front.
Right, very.
Yep.
I went to public hearing.
Well, I didn't put back
This is
together.
what I
Should start off with this.
I read it.
It's truly going with how we determine with the traffic that's flowing on and off the property. And there was different ideas about how to do that from different jurisdictions, just trying to figure out, are we going to classify the vehicle that's coming, are we going to classify the number of trips that come through, are we going to do it as a light duty, heavy duty, those types of things were options. I didn't see a magic bullet based upon where we were having discussion at the last meeting. But I didn't know if any of those were closer to what you guys are thinking could be parameters that we could further discuss or I could flush out for you.
I didn't have most, if they meet all the other requirements as we're laying out in here for home occupation, I don't know if delivery has been a great big issue in the past. And I think that's what we were talking about at the other meeting, and maybe they'll get you know, I think maybe semi-tractors may be something we may want to look at, but even at that, if it came, you know, once a month, I don't think that's the end of the world, in my opinion. You guys-
I really like the Deer, not that he had anything to do with it when he was there, but I really like Deerfield Township's take on it.
That is completely different than that. Rest easy.
That seemed to be the most common sense answer, that we would wanna, if we got somebody going up and down the driveway with an 18-wheeler every day, we'd probably ultimately
Complaints.
get complaints about that.
And do some testing.
Yeah, so that to me was the most, of all the ones that you provided for discussion, that was the one that stuck out to me as it made the most sense for what we're looking for.
Okay.
Because really beyond that with heavy trucks, they're gonna be different. They've got it, much like the vein of the rest of this, that's beyond the parameters of this, it's gonna have to be a different classification anyway.
Yeah, my only concern was blocking, you'd have enough space to bring whatever vehicle you have onto your property, or you're not blocking the road right away for an extended period of time.
Right.
You know, so if you're on, just for example, one of the county roads, and you couldn't back down their driveway, you know, how much traffic are you truly gonna block during that time? That's what we're gonna get calls on, hey, I can't get around, hey, there was a site distance issue, those type of things. So to be a responsible person and bring that on, at the same time, I don't wanna have 18-wheeler parking put on every person's property.
Sure.
To accommodate that one-off. So, you know, some compromise in between is probably where we're at.
Which Deerfield does seem to be
I think
as
so.
good as any.
Yeah.
Of the other ones that you looked at, Jeff, or do you think Deerfield is probably as good as any of them?
Yeah, out of the ones that were provided, they all had some good and bads that are in there. It truly comes back to where we think it's gonna be Deerfield is sufficient to meet. If the text move is going forward, that would be a good addition to it. And as we talked before, we may have to play with this as it goes forward, but this is something that will give us additional parameters that I think I can identify, as an add-on, to other activities. This is activity for myself.
What do you think, Steve? Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I don't think we need to overcomplicate things.
Right.
As long as it's reasonable, we can address problems when they occur.
Well, I think that we take 13 and adapt it with the language of Deerfield, or something very similar to that.
Yeah, do you want to go with the language, or do you want to close it a little bit? Is there something there that gave anyone heartburn? If not, I'd say let's go with it as written.
I'm good.
I agree. Yeah, no, I'm good with that.
Good with it.
I think we've belabored it as much as it needs to be.
Okay. That was the only thing that I took from the last meeting, we need further discussion. So if I'm incorrect, I'll have to go further.
No, I think you got it.
Good. All right. Any other discussion? Okay, no further discussion, we'll have a motion to close the public hearing,
Thank you.
and we can begin the regular meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yeah. Okay, in reference to 5215, with the just discussed item 13 to be changed, as we have mentioned, and all the other items that we've talked about in the previous meeting, as is in the document that Jeff has given us, is there a motion to approve 5215 and dispense with the second reading?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yeah.
Thanks, sir.
Good on that one?
Good work, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Lots of work.
Yeah.
Not more than probably should have been. That's okay. That's why we do-
Sometimes it's like that, so.
Yeah, that's right. See where we go.
On to fiscal business, we have the fiscal officer's report.
Yeah, a couple things for you today, sir. We did get a report in from the county as far as the first half collections for this year. We'll get that money in on Wednesday. And it looks to from the first half, we're almost even on the general fund. We were up $600 versus last year. We're about 1% less on the road fund, which is about $42.32, but I think you'd probably say that just gas that we haven't spent, and we had a relatively good year for salt, so I don't think that's a problem. Fire is about 2% less. They're about $54,000 less than last year, and the police fund is down about $86,000 versus last year's. Collections about 6.2%. I don't think that much of this is concerned with the coronavirus. I'm not sure at this time. I will be working with the Barney Wright, the treasurer, to sort of monitor that situation and to see if there's any issues that we need to be concerned with. Most of our revenue that we have coming is an income tax based. Mostly, it's property tax based. We do get some money in for gas tax, so we're watching that as well. But every fund that we have has a decent amount of reserve in it, and I don't think at this time there's any action that the board needs to take in terms of changing our direction.
What was the
at this time.
percentage again that the fire department was down?
The fire fund is only down 2%. They were $54,000 less than last year.
Police was 6%.
Yeah, 6% minus 86,000. But again, we won't know for sure until the next half as to where we're really at with this and what's going to happen. There's a lot of unknowns with the, people asking for mortgage deferrals. Does that mean they have to pay their property taxes? And so I'm not sure exactly where that's going to end up yet. At some point, we would probably get that money, but we're not sure exactly, what's going to happen. But I'll watch that for you, and I'll make sure that you're aware of what's going on when it happens.
Okay.
And the next item I have for you is the quarterly transfer of interest income.
Okay.
Ready for your action tonight, sir.
Okay. We have resolution 5218, a resolution approving the transfer of funds to the appropriate funds based on earnings from interest. The motion to approve 5218.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Gabbard.
Yay.
Mr. Mearsclaw. Mr. Wade.
Yeah. Anything else, Russ?
Negative, sir, that's it.
I had a question. Have you had a conversation with the county concerning, property taxes that are included with mortgage payments if something's going to be happening with the government with deferment of mortgages and the tax?
I spent some time looking at that, and there is nothing that's been written. The state of Ohio does not allow deferment of property taxes. So I don't see anything that legally the government above us would be willing to do. I think it's really just a matter of what people are willing to pay.
Or able.
Right.
Okay. Anything else? Any other questions for Russ? Okay, anything under public comment? New business police, we have resolution 5219, a resolution to amend and restate Clifford Township's participation in the Warren County Drug Task Force, dispensing with the second reading.
The task force COG is a group of all the agencies that pay to be in the drug task force, and every time they add somebody, we have to readdress the COG. And I think this was adding Carlisle. I think they opted in upon their new chief. So unfortunately, they have to recreate all the paperwork that we just did not long ago when Waynesville was joined.
Okay.
So it's just housekeeping on the county's part of updating our COG and signing off on it that Carlisle was moved on. So.
Anybody have any questions of 5219? Is there a motion to approve 5219?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Mearsclaw.
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard.
Yay.
Mr. Wade.
Yeah. And we have a recommendation to purchase 3 vehicles.
Yes, sir.
Chief, go right ahead.
The automobiles, we don't even know if we're going to get them. We're just trying to get in line with some of the plant closures and stuff because of the coronavirus. It closed down some of the lines. We were on some deadlines on ordering times, so we were just trying to place the order, and we don't even know if we're going to get them. There was 2 other cars to be replaced toward the end of the year. Those are the Chargers. However, we can't even place those orders till the end of the year now, probably wouldn't see them to 2021, by the time they get here. So this is just trying to get in line. We don't know if we'll even see these cars this year. The first one's the Dodge Durango replacement. It's got about 91,000 miles on it. It's 8 years old, and the lowest bid on that was Paul Sherry for $36,334. Would be the first one. The second one is the Ford Explorer, and that is 11 and Ford was the low bid at $52,856. So again, that's just trying to get in line for those two. Do you want to do these one at a time or all together? How do you want to do that? Sorry.
I think we can probably do them all at once, can't we?
Yeah.
Let's go right here.
Okay. The Polaris, many years ago, we brought the board this idea. It was previous boards. There was a tobacco firm giving those away. We applied a couple times, didn't win the lottery on it. When we had the action about putting them in the disc golf course, and a gentleman speaking of a volume of up to 17,000 people a year going through the park, we kind of got together and talked about how we're going to get anybody in there that gets hurt, has a heart attack, anything like that. So that kind of led into the discussion of what we're going to do with load from the police side. We had revisited that because of some other events we've had in the past in the township where we could have used something. We've had a couple suicides. One suicide we looked on foot for 2.5 days before we found the gentleman, because we didn't have any other way of getting back into the woods. We've had other events where in the past, and some of the township is still farmland and some terrain out there to get to. So looking at a combination of several things, we revisited that idea. Polaris makes you can make a half police, half fire. The back of that is a med bed that you could extract somebody from a bad location if need be, and then the front half is a quad cab that has heat and air. So what the climate's going to be. So I presented that to Loeb. Loeb liked the idea, granted us the full price on buying that. The bid came in at $33,132. So those are the three vehicles. That's why we're kind of where we're at on all three.
The 33, that's more than we've ever gotten from Loeb before, as I recall. Is that right?
You know, Loeb is, 35,000 is the most we've ever gotten.
Okay, so we got that much.
You know, in the past, what I've done with Loeb is when I first got here, Loeb said, we don't like you to replace your budget. We want you to give us something that's for the safety of officers, for the safety of the public, something that they can grant that money toward to help out in some fashion. So I have in the past, and if you do try to supplement your budget, it seems like they give you less money. So we in the past have looked at kind of unfunded things. We've done the interior security cameras here, the safety exchange zone out here for the kids and stuff. They paid for those 2 unfunded times of re-upping the cameras. They did the cameras in the cars and stuff. So it's, and you can tell when they like a project because they throw money at it. Last year we got like 25,000, this time 35,000. So we've been ahead of the game on what we get, and they vet that pretty well down there as a board, and then they decide where they'd like to see their money spent. So we presented to them, and they granted the money. So
Yeah. Well, I look at these as this is probably a luxury, but it's also, as you mentioned, with the terrain we've got and things that happen, I can see where it could have some use for sure. And it's a little green into money for them. If they didn't like it, they probably wouldn't grant the money. You can't take that money and use it for something else. No. Okay. The vehicles, I'm concerned about the 91,000 on the Dodge. Transmission still good?
It's doing okay. I've got an engine light on right now. I gotta go ahead and put that. The back hatch is broke apparently that year. That model year was a disaster for the automatic back hatch, so I'll get that plugged. But other than that, it's doing okay.
If we get a year out of it with 91,000 miles on that transmission, we'll be lucky.
You know, in police cars, we also look at the hour gauge on that too.
Okay.
It's got about 3,300 hours of idle time. and that's one of the things we're concerned about, on police vehicles, is because they sit at intersections, my car sits on scenes at time, in the winter and so forth. That equates to, the factory describes that on Dodge as, 33 miles per hour. So that adds about another 40,000 miles to a police vehicle. So we try to replace all of the fleet at around, the 100,000 mark, try to get a little resale out or whatever in the past. But one of the other things we watch is that hour gauge too, and what that inflates that to, as far as holding up as a police car. You know, it could be used secondarily as something else, without that kind of idle use, and that kind of driving and stuff, but.
Pete Wally and I get in it pretty regularly for lunch, so I'm a little concerned about the suspension of the straight on the number.
Well,
That was Liam going down the road.
So in your package.
Put Wally on the back seat and level that out, would you, from the next one? He'll be in your mirror, but that's okay. Did you say, they said, how many hours per mile, or?
On
how
the
many-
Dodge, it's 33 miles per every idle hour,
And you have how many idle hours?
about 33, almost 3,300 idle hours.
Okay, I'm a little concerned with your math, because.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's 106, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes to about 190, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was like-
I was looking at one of the other cars.
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I was looking at one of the other cars.
I thought it was somewhere around 30 miles per
Yeah.
idle hour, is what I had read, so.
Yeah.
Most of the automakers say,
Yeah,
so.
I'm sorry,
okay, anybody have any other questions?
Yeah. I've got some heartburn on the, $33,000 for a Polaris. You know, I don't feel comfortable, with buying luxuries. I would like to use grant money for, something that would be more significant than a luxury. It has a ton of money, and I think it could be better spent on something else.
I agree with you, but that being said, they didn't give us the money for something else. So should you recommend we send it back?
It's our secondary.
We've never asked for a secondary, but they obviously, in my opinion, they liked the project, that's why they funded it. Yeah, but it's something certainly we haven't had, but, with the chief's right, could be any time that if somebody gets hurt back in one of those hills, you still have to get there.
Middletown Police Department, we have 3 boats.
Yeah, I think that would.
Because we have a river going through there, so you have to address the terrain. You know, I'm just trying to worry about how we save somebody if we get somebody hurt. We get farmers that get caught in implements, things like that, we've had to get to before, in the past, so my concern is just trying to get somebody out of there, so.
I remember during the blizzard, when we couldn't get back to the people that were back to Long Lane, back to the set back behind the Y, I forget, what do we call that? We called it the Stolley property.
Yeah,
But that was the original farm, Mr. Stolley just happened to own it back then. And we couldn't get there, and we were looking for somebody that had a snowmobile. We don't have a lot of them snowmobiles in Clear Creek Township. This would have been great then, not that it could have made it, but at least we'd had a shot. And those people ran out of fuel, they ran out of food, and so on and so forth.
Harlan Township had a plane crash about a month ago, and they were trying to find the ATV to get to it. They couldn't get them in the plane crash to see if the guy survived or not. They were borrowing ATVs to get to it, so, you know, they got.
Those are definitely rare things, we know, we hope they don't ever happen, but, at the same time, I'm okay with it since it was funded. I feel like if Lowe thought it was frivolous use of money, they probably wouldn't have funded it, in my opinion. And I know they're probably gonna say, where'd you spend that much money for on that? Now, the dollar amount is a lot for any type of vehicle, but I happen to have a Gator that wasn't too far from that, so I know how you can get there pretty quick. They're expensive items.
Well, personally, from my perspective, I feel like this is almost a joint venture for fire and police. And I think about it on my property. I mean, we've all three got farms, and I've got spots on my property that there's nobody that can get to it but somebody in something like this. So is it something we're gonna use every day? No, but we have things like that throughout our fleet, if you will.
Where are you gonna keep it? The park?
Here in the garage, it's actually, we can get it on the road, it does, we can get to any place in the township pretty quick on it, you know, I would eventually try to move it to the park, but it's fine being.
Hoffman's where I visit.
Yeah, here in the garage to start with, but,
I don't disagree that it's a big number, but they are big. I'm looking at them right now for myself, not one that's equipped like this one, which is always more. I mean, it's, I look at our numbers for our vehicles, and you look at it, it goes from, you know, our regular cruiser, we put 17 grand in it to change it into a cruiser from a regular Explorer. So I can see a difference, but I know what these things are going for, and it's just, you know, this is the evolution of the ATV, essentially. They combine a Gator and a ATV into an all-terrain vehicle that, we used to call them grasshoppers back in the day when my dad was on the fire department. The tankers that would go out where nothing else can go, so,
Yeah, that one went about 1 mile per hour.
I know, I rode in it, a time or two, so, but yeah, I mean, I don't disagree that it's a big number. I do understand the load process, and I certainly don't want to, I see the need, and I don't want to question a resource that has been very, very good to the township either, because that stuff tends to dry up when you go that route, so.
Was there not a secondary request if this didn't fly?
we looked, usually the way I write that is, I'll write the main, object, and then if they choose not to fund that, I think that's the way I worded this, we would look at a secondary and a third. The third usually is, trying to catch back up with safety down on some of the stuff that wears out there. We looked at a secondary thing here in case Loeb decided this was a bad idea. They went for that idea first, so it never got to the secondary part on their part. The secondary part we were looking at is a device that allowed some drug testing. However, the philosophy on that changed toward the end, when we got into the heroin issues. There was a couple companies that upstarted it. It was a drug testing on, usually what we do now is we find a powder. The officers will handle that powder, put it in a small packet, break some chemical ampules, and it'll turn a certain color, and we know it's cocaine. But heroin, the derivatives of heroin and so forth that were out there when that mess was going on really put us at a backseat on that, because it became so dangerous to handle that personally anymore. So we really took a philosophy that no more testing. Also got into the issue with court systems where they wanted the exact test by the lab before they would let us put indictments. So although we looked at the secondary thing and using that device and maybe buying that device, the officer safety was no longer worth it. We now just bag it, send it straight to the lab for testing. We don't get any preliminary test at all because it's just too dangerous. So the secondary, had they gone there, would have been problematic for me after the fact now, because once we got into those problems, it's just not worth touching that stuff. Get it to the lab, bag it up, get it to the lab, let them do the testing. So to put a fancier machine in the middle of that, it just kind of became a moot point for me to do that.
Okay. Okay, any other comments on 5219?
This is a recommendation for purchase.
Right. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Recommendation to
okay.
purchase.
All right,
One
well,
of the 3 vehicles.
I'm fine with the vehicles and the cruisers. I'm not so fine with the others. If you wanna batch them all together, you know.
Well, why don't we do them separately? Let's just do them one at a time. Fair enough. Okay, is there a motion to approve the purchase of the Dodge Durango?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yeah. And is there a motion to approve the purchase of the Ford Explorer?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay. And is there a motion to approve the purchase of the Polaris Ranger?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Nay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay. Okay, very good. And we have a recommendation to accept a donation from Sandy Gooch and Steve Halstead for Safety Town in the amount of $200.
That's for 2021, which unfortunately,
Okay.
because we
Yeah,
can't
for 2021.
this year.
They just did one a couple weeks ago, didn't they? A couple of months ago. Gooch's, I was thinking they maybe just did something.
They donate several times a year to different causes, don't they?
Yeah, they're off and on at times. They brought in, the check and wanted to donate to this year's Safety Town. One of the things I want to talk to the board about tonight was Safety Town was due to start on June 1. It's just too close with everything going on. So getting in front of that, we went ahead and canceled Safety Town this year. There's just no way we can get it in with the virus and stuff and try to get people back, nor do we want to put the kids in that much danger.
So they're probably doing.
From that, their donation, I contacted them and I said, hey, we're canceling this. Yeah, we expected that after we saw everything going on. How about you just move it for next year? So, just have them put it in as a donation for 2021, so that's what they're doing.
Had we already done signups, or was that preemptive?
We had been getting online
Okay.
signups already, and the ladies were going through those and notifying people.
Okay.
Backward that we were going to cancel that. We notified the school and Springboro PD and Sheriff's Department.
I saw that.
Sheriff's Department takes part in that now too with their dogs and stuff.
Right.
So we got all the notifications out, but it's just going to be too close and it's too
No,
dangerous.
I'm-
Yeah, so.
Don't disagree, I just wanted to make sure, I'm sure somebody will, in my travels, will ask if.
Where's Bums there?
No, it was, the post was well done. I mean, I think it's common sense at this point for that type of gathering.
Absolutely. Is there a motion to accept the donation?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay?
Mr. Wood?
Yeah. Anything else, Chief?
The only thing I got left is National Night Out. A recommendation from the National Night Out is that we move that to October. So we'll probably be moving National Night Out to October this year, just to give the board a heads up on that, be later in the year, according to how it all folds out.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll be a little cool.
Yeah, it's Fire Prevention Month, right? Trying to get in on our VA.
That's what it is.
Maybe we'll buy hot dogs jointly, save some money.
You'll have to share the Polaris.
Economy of scale.
They got a ride on the back.
Fire department drives it for a while in the police car.
There we go. I'm sure we can
The
work
leaves
it
will be turning at the park, it'll be pretty. There you go.
There you go. Okay, moving on to the fire district, we have resolution 5217, resolution declaring personal property as surplus and approving donation and disposal of said personal property and dispensing with second reading.
We have some old fire boots we're gonna donate to the Career Center, that we have done in the past, and then we have a SCBA cylinder that is beyond its hydrostatic test date that needs to be destroyed.
So motion to approve 5217.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Wood?
Okay. And we have a motion to accept the donation for $200 from Scott and Judy Swope.
We've been helping Judy out quite a bit lately, so Doc just wanted to write a check to say thanks. So he always calls me and thanks me and tells me how great the crews did, and I'm going to send a check.
Is there a motion to accept this donation?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wood?
Yay. Anything else, Steve? Okay. Planning and zoning, we have a recommendation to set a public hearing to consider a stage one PUD application. Approval by the zoning commission at 1555 East State Route 73.
Last Monday, the zoning commission had their first video conference for a public hearing. Tomorrow, the Board of Zoning Appeals do 2 cases, so which we all had if this continues on. But through process, it brings it to you for your next meeting, so why we're able to meet on May, first trustee meeting in May, is where I set this for. Ultimately, they're wanting to modify the current PUD to add a distillery to that site, so. BJ's Garage and the 2 buildings that are attached to BJ's
Okay.
is the section of the PUD that they're wanting to modify, so.
You said distillery?
Yeah, they want to do moonshine as the distillery.
No on-site consumption, just
Correct, you'll have on-site tasting, but they won't have a bar at this point in time. They're trying to get into the distribution. They have some ideas for evolution.
Is BJ doing this, or is this?
No, it's two boys from Williamsville.
Okay.
I guess you call them boys, they're younger than me, probably not appropriate. Two young men from, that have grown up in the area who see that as a good travel location destination for being the western theme, and everyone going through there to get to anything from 75 to 71 and 72. So, should be a good public hearing. They had a presentation a little bit longer and was on PowerPoint, so maybe a little bit different than what we normally do. If you guys are available that evening, you don't have conflicts, go ahead and set it, and if things come up, we can always open up the public hearing and continue it to another date if we have issues.
Makes sense.
All right, then just go ahead and let's set it.
Okay.
Don't need a motion.
If I could, that way.
Okay. Is there a motion to set the public hearing for this stage 1 PUD change for May 11th at 5:30?
So moved.
Second. Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Wick?
Thank-
That's it. Okay, road department recommendation to purchase a Freightliner M2 106 dump.
Mr. This is the last of the four, so we'll be done with the big dumps for a while. So the current price that we're at is $136,296, but that'll actually come down. There's a few things they have on there we need to take off, but we've been going back and forth now with everything that's going on, trying to get it all worked out to the T. It's just difficult to do right now, and that's why we went ahead and put it at up to 138, that way in case something comes off or something has to be added that we typically find. But this will be the last one at the four that we had to replace, so.
Good. Good, yeah, that's very good. Is there a motion to approve this purchase of the dump?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Mearsclaw? Yay. Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wick?
Yeah. Anything else?
Unless you have any questions, sir.
All quiet, huh?
Yep, kind of strange.
We had a lot of trees down with the wind. I mean,
I came in and drove. I didn't see anything, didn't get any calls. I mean, little few small things here and there, nothing that really needed attention. But the mowers will be going out. The brush mower won't, but Dennis will be getting out later this week and starting to make his rounds. I don't want sight distances to creep up. And then we'll be hitting the park and the government center and everything this week again. And then hopefully we'll start on a few ditches here because we can keep our proper spacing and all that with different vehicles to do those things. So.
Scott does a good job of managing personnel when they're coming in here to make sure that they stay at least 6 feet apart from one another. They stagger the times and then make sure that they're utilizing the whole space up there. So he's done a real nice job with that.
Anybody have any questions for Scott? Okay, moving on to administration, we have a recommendation to renew our annual property and casualty insurance agreement with Tarman.
Yep, a little bit of a price jump this year. I probably directly attribute it to newer vehicles, frankly. Particularly dump trucks, we're replacing those and jettisoning 20-year-old vehicles. So,
I'm sure that was probably a majority of it.
but, I'll give you the whole coverage packet in your in the email. I don't know that I reproduced it for the meeting packet. The limits are all still the same. $12 million. Capital and the umbrella coverage is getting larger and larger each year as we add more equipment.
Is there a motion to approve the renewal for the property and casualty insurance?
so moved.
Second. Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Wick?
Yeah. And want to discuss the tenant farmer agreement for the hay auction reserve?
Yeah, so Mr. Whitaker reached out to us to let us know that he was interested in entering into another agreement for the hay acreage that we lease the farming rights to. This is almost 13 acres for hay out there. And I simply wanted to bring it back to the board here, the determination of the contract. This is to ask that the board have preference whether we auction off the rights to farm it or enter into a renegotiated contract with Mr. Whitaker.
What does he pay us?
A 110 an acre.
It was a little over 100.
110 an acre, so we get about $1,414 annually.
It is, it's probably higher than average. But, you know, is there anything in the wording of that, the value that he has of using the barns?
No.
Is that part of the agreement?
It is not, as far as I know. I don't recall.
I'm trying to remember, I thought we had that in the verbiage of it.
I think it is in there too.
They're using the barns, so whoever's out there now.
No, I know, I thought that was in the agreement.
Actually, if it's not, we should.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay.
Does he use it to store the hay in, or does he? use it
I think
for
he keeps
equipment?
some of his equipment
This
out
is
there.
equipment, yeah. Has he caused you any heartburn?
Not to my
You
knowledge,
guys?
no. Mm-mm. We had thought about, at times we thought about it'd be nice to put some of our stuff in there, but right now it's just not real feasible with what we have to lock it up in there and worry about it all the time.
Yeah, we did, I think it's a security issue for sure.
Yeah, the barns are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's in there. I thought we did. Brian, is there any reason that we need to shop this if we're happy with him, he's happy with us?
You have the right to shop it or not to shop it.
I think that's the more than that. Most people don't want full of hay.
Not 13 acres.
I know I can't find too many more full of 6. All right, no, I'm fine with going forward and.
Have you had anybody inquire this year? I personally wouldn't worry about it. I'd say thank you for the 110 acres.
Yeah, just renew it.
I would suggest to the trustees, there's a provision in the agreement that says, I think it's 3 years.
Yeah.
But then that's a hard stop, and then you go through this process again. Otherwise, you don't want to, I submit to you, obviously it's your call, you don't necessarily want an evergreen clause, somebody can hold over and continue.
No, yeah.
Well, hopefully if we get a lawyer that's good enough to write that into the.
We should.
I was gonna say, don't we pay a guy out of something there?
I just spoke up.
Nice job.
Okay, yep.
That was worth
A
it.
certificate of-
Uh,
Is there any liability we have for his equipment or hay if he's storing some in there?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear
Is
that.
there any liability we have for his equipment or his hay?
I think it's part of, I think there's a release in there for
There's
that
an
liability.
indemnification.
Yeah.
There you go, see, now I paid mine.
And we're required to make us an additional insurance.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
The operation that he has, it's his own liability.
Right.
He's been very good at doing that.
The only thing I would say, personal, I mean, this may sound kind of silly, but would we rather him just store equipment in there instead of possibly storing hay or vice versa? I mean, I get why he'd want to store the equipment, I mean, he doesn't need to just live around the corner from there.
Well, I think it's always temporary. He is making money storing it.
Right, no, I know, yeah. I just get nervous when there's stuff like that in my barn that tends to set on fire a little easier, but that's fine.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay. That's fine.
I don't think it's, unless you need it.
We're not using it for anything right now.
Like, they can't secure anything out there.
We'd have to put doors on and sliders and everything.
I was gonna
Even
say,
then, you
are
can
those
walk up
barns-
and kick the back board off and get in there. if you really want.
Yeah, are those barns even able to be used for anything else?
The big one has doors and everything, but most of them where he just has his attachments and stuff, they don't even have doors, they're just undercover.
They're three.
Yeah, they're just lean-tos, aren't they?
Three-sided.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The other thing too that Mr. Clark was just pointing out is that we've got a 30-day any or no reason out clause. So if you ever got to the point where you needed it,
Yeah.
you just send him a notice and then he's got to be out in 30 days anyway.
Were you our lawyer 3 years ago?
I was,
Darn.
since 14.
There's one. Nice job.
Since another follically challenged administrator was here.
Oh.
Okay, so you guys will get
Contract
together
worked out
and
anyway,
write
that's
it
good.
according, and get it renewed, okay?
I'll reach out to him and let him know we're interested in renegotiating. Or re-upping.
Okay. Anything else?
I'm gonna piggyback on that and ask a question. Can you give us an update on the house in et al?
Actually, the contractor was supposed to start working on the house today, but Duke did not reconnect our electric out there. A couple of days behind.
Don't we know somebody to do? Oh, those people had power outages, that's right.
Yeah, they're kind of dealing with.
We drove home from Maysville, or from, it was a war zone down there, and I'm glad I missed this, because there were massive, I mean, huge trees that were thrown around like toothpicks.
And Duke does draw their workforce around the natural mix.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't realize how hard it hit Cincy until I saw the map, so.
But yeah, the contractors do start gutting it any day, not completely gutting it.
As soon as he can get in there, I'm sure. Okay. Anything else?
I do. I have a couple more things that I need to do an audit on. One of the young men that we hired as a seasonal laborer for the parks resigned before he ever actually started. The board did in fact appoint him, so effective today, he tendered his resignation, so I would appreciate the board taking a motion and vote on accepting his resignation. His name is Eli D'Antino.
Okay, is there a motion to accept the resignation for Eli D'Antino?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay.
And there's something I added to your packet, it was a letter that I forgot to put on the agenda. It was from a gentleman who was interested in buying the 7.55 acre tract of land that actually has road frontage on Lower Springboro. It's really part of the Harbaugh-Gitzinger property there. He expressed an interest in purchasing it to build a single-family dwelling on the parcel. The parcel is, of course, included in the master plan for Harbaugh Park. I don't know how much function it has in the plan, other than raw acreage, but, again.
Well, it's got the forest, it's got the access.
Correct, yeah, there's a vehicular access in there.
There's only about 100-foot access drive back to their property. That's the connection to the road.
I think there was proposed to have a bridge there too, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
know it's had an issue.
I didn't want to substitute my own judgment for that of the boards when it comes to real estate, but I assume.
I personally see no reason why we would want to entertain that. What do you guys think? Kind of messes things up.
Okay, thank you.
I don't think it's a buildable lot anyway, personally, but that's another discussion for another day. I think it looks like somebody trying to buy land, but we can't fund it.
Okay. Thank you. Moving on to the consent agenda. If I have any comment about the consent agenda, or is there a motion to approve as it is?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay. Staff updates? I have anything.
We can talk about mine in executive session.
Okay. Moving on to executive session, we do have an executive session scheduled, so is there a motion to recess the regular meeting and enter into executive session?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay.
I'm good that the cameras are still
Their session, is there anything else to come before the trustees tonight?
Anybody
Anybody have anything else?
I do not. Yep.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yes.
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you.